Welcome in Deseret News Rewind, the schedule video. As always, we're presented by Heidemann Associates, brought to you by the Utah National Guard and outfitted by Black Clover. And my mental toughness will have to come from Riley Jensen, because it sure as heaven ain't come from what I did in week 6 on this video. Dane goes 9-2. Somehow I go sub 500. Try to give content, but I'd like to blame it on that. But some teams have showed up and some did not. But congratulations, Nate Gambler, Tony Jepson, and our good friend Region 14 on Twitter, all going 7-4. They didn't get Dane this week, but they got me, and Dane now takes a commanding lead.
Well,
means,
yeah, just give it time. I expect to give that lead right back this week, Dusty.
I'll take it. Well, let's jump in. We're going through 12 games this week. So hit us up on Twitter at DNews Rewind with your picks. And if you beat us, or even one of us, we're going to mention you here on the show. We got more input last week than ever. All right, week 7, we got some great matchups. Let's start here. Rivalry game, head on the stick, Fremont at Weber.
Well, Dusty, that Weber loss to Layton to me, I think, is a big wake-up call for the Warriors, right? And this game going to be at Weber. I think they're going to come in ready, motivated, good to go. I'll tell you, this offense for Fremont, I feel like it's coming around, and I'm going to go with the Silver Wolves in this one on the road, head on the stick game. I got Fremont.
I'm going Fremont, too. I thought you were going with, I really didn't think you were going with Weber. Do not kick the ball to Ken DeVries if you don't want points scored.
It's better to go out of bounds, guys. It's only the 35-yard line. It'll be okay.
Every week we're getting Ken DeVries punt, and last week was in a tougher effort, but he's having himself quite the year.
Yes, he is.
Kearns at Hunter.
Well, Hunter with a nice win this last week. Kearns, though, I was talking with the Region 2 coach, said they've taken that next step as a program. I mean, they shut out West Jordan. West Jordan's a good team. Yeah. And this Kearns team, you talked about how good Nocky Lehi is. I think this is all Cougars.
All Cougars for me, too. I think Cougars got this one. Bingham, well, we'll get to that one in a second. Box Elder at Bountiful.
Ah, man, a good one, huh? Bountiful coming off that tough loss.
The biggest question is that there's a combined 34 points in this game.
Yeah.
That's more the question.
Two teams that don't score a lot.
Yeah.
Bountiful, they've got weapons. You talk about Du Bois. And, of course, Fornelius and Barker, who's been so good, that quarterback for Bountiful. Box Elder, though, there's something about this team and Parker Buchanan. I like what we've seen from them, especially in region play here going on early on. I'm going to go with Box Elder in this one.
Yeah, this game's at home, which means it's going to be played early, at home for Bountiful, which means this game's going to be played around 3:30. I did that. It goes a little up and down. I'm going to go with the home Braves. I think they're going to go home, see Coach Stringfellow painted the field all pretty.
Yeah.
He's the new, he's the new guy doing the job on the field. They haven't put field turf in at Bountiful yet, so Coach does a great job there. I'm going Bountiful. Get the ball to Du Bois, and things might happen. Brighton at Skyline.
Man, a good one here. And, the tough thing about this is Skyline's putting up all sorts of points, but they really haven't had a real difficult schedule yet. This is going to be, in my opinion, the first real test for how good that Skyline offense is. Going to be at home. Brighton, of course, look, the last couple of weeks, that offense, they haven't put up quite as many points against Olympus, and then this last week against Springville, they won both of them. They're finding ways to win close games. I like the physicality of Brighton. I'm going to take the Bengals in this one. I know I've got a few Skyline players going to be disappointed in that one. I'm going to go with Brighton. But it wouldn't shock me at all if Skyline's able to put some points on the board in this one.
Well, it's interesting because the 05 championship game was the first state championship game we did. I mean, it was Mike Haig versus Matt Marshall, and even in the mid-aughts or teens, you had with Fahoko and then Tommy McGrath and Larson, and but neither team was kind of on this move at the same time since really 05, 06,
been a long time.
This is just awesome. And there used to be a thing that Brighton used to say that there's 22 players on the field and 18 of them should have went to Brighton. That still sticks in their craw.
Yeah, it does.
So in the voice of the Bryce Haslams and the Reno Mahes and everyone, I'm going Brighton on this one. I love Skyline. I love the story. Bolingbroke breaking every record. He's a different version of Brandon Doman at that school now. But I'm going Brighton as well. Timpview at Lehi.
Oh man, a good one here, Dusty. The Pioneers, we've seen them start to get things set a little bit. I think that Timpview team we've talked about, it's just going to be it's going to take time for them to get things right. I'm going to go with the physicality of Timpview. Maybe this is a legacy pick for me, but I'm going to go with the T-Birds.
Yeah, I have to figure it out. Content. Let's go Lehi on this one. No, I think this game's really close.
I do too.
Lehi taking PG down the stretch.
Yeah.
That says something what this team's starting to do. They took care of Provost soundly. Creighton Cooper's getting things figured out, but it's just a matter of what Timpview team shows up. How much positivity do you keep when you put your head through the wood chipper, and how much do you have at the end? And that's going to be a big test this week. And so Breeze boys going to have a chance to figure that one out.
Yeah, resiliency, the great test of 2020, and both these teams going to be tested in that regard this week.
Absolutely. So I'll go Lehi on that one.
Okay.
Let's go down to St. George, shall we? The first 3 schools, 2 of the 3 anyway, Dixie and Snow Canyon.
Well, Dusty, it's been a long time since I've picked against Dixie, at least I think. I don't recall a time when I have, but to me, this Snow Canyon team, I think they look legit. Fry's been so good this year, and this Dixie team hasn't put up a ton of points. They've really relied on their defense to keep opponents scoring low. Snow Canyon only put up, 28 this last week? Yep. But I'm going to go with the Warriors. I think they're going to find a way to get a win in this one. Just too much talent on the offensive side for Snow Canyon for me.
Yeah, Coach Monker's going to be a little mad at me too, because I am, there's certain teams I bang the drum for all the time, and Dixie is one of those. The Fly Boys, we got a great Twitter following there too, but Tim Nowatzki did such a great job at BYU. Kind of an underrated guy in the early 90s. I'm going Snow Canyon too. I'm not following you.
No, I know.
And we don't really talk about this beforehand, but I'm going to go Snow Canyon. Their team is moving. There's a lot of weapons there.
Yeah.
And Dixie's just trying to figure out. You're replacing so much offense from a year ago.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep saying that, but it's true.
Yep.
But I'm going to go there too. Mountain View Park City.
Well, I'll tell you this Mountain View team, if you had asked me this game a couple weeks ago, I would have said Bruins. I think their defense is tenacious. Their offense moves the ball really well. But, man, the growth that we've seen from Park City this last year, I took them this last week against Stansbury, and I kind of thought maybe I was gifting you one, Dusty. But they came into play. And they made plays late. They came back. They get the win in that one. I'm going to go with the Miners. I'm going to keep riding the boys from Park City.
Yeah.
You don't have to make it all up in 1 week. It's okay, Dusty.
It's okay. I know, but I got you. I'm going with Tyler Anderson. When I talk about Tim Nowatzki, got to go with the guy who's on the other end of him. The sprinter speed guy, Tyler Anderson. I'm going to go with the Bruins. This game could be really close.
Yeah.
I think
it's going to be fun.
This says more about Mountain View than it will about Park City in this
Definitely.
game.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, how do you come off the biggest win that you have to date this year, anyway?
Yeah.
And then how do you bounce back? That's a big question here in Region 4. Skyridge at Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, well, you got to play the former #1 team in the state. That's what you got to do, and that's the task for Skyridge this week. Dusty, I think this PG offense, I expect them to be improved off of what we saw from Corner Canyon, more than 7 points. They like to spread things out, and Clemens, what a year he has had, and they got a lot of talent on that offensive side. To me, they've got to be balanced. The thing that really undid AF was they never established the running game. They never got that going, and it really allowed Skyridge to lock in on defending the air attack and did a great job of doing so. Can PG get that ground game going? With what I saw Friday night, hey, Mark, you told me I got to pick Skyridge? Okay, I got the Falcons.
I normally don't do this. I would run like 5 play actions in the first 6 plays if I were Brandon Doman. Just throwing it out there. Throwing it out there. I'm not saying trick plays, just play action and trying to mess with the aggressiveness I think you're going to see out of Skyridge, saying, we're going to dare you to run and we're bringing the heat, screens, and play action. I normally don't do that, but I'm just throwing it out there. But I'm going Skyridge. Skyridge is playing so well.
Yeah, they are.
I think there might only be one other game this year I might go against on this list with how well they're playing. Coach Lehman has just been absolutely unreal.
Yep.
Juan Diego, Summit Academy.
Well, 2 teams that had very opposite weeks this last week. Juan Diego starting to look like the team we've expected, and Summit Academy not looking like a team we've seen under Coach Hamilton. I think that you're going to see a good bounce back from Summit Academy. This has been a fun little rivalry the last couple of years. Summit Academy largely, I think, has had the edge the last 2 or 3 years in this one. I'm going to go with the Bears on a nice bounce back after having a really tough week. Joe Garlick and company. Expect that offense to get back in rhythm, but that defense is going to have to be ready because that Juan Diego option looked really good this last week.
If there's one coach that does not like to get embarrassed, man in his position cannot be made to look ridiculous. That is Les Hamilton. What movie? And if no one gets this one, I'm going to be really hurt. The man in my position cannot be made to look ridiculous. I'm going Summit Academy. Juab at North Sanpete.
This is a real sneaky game.
Whatever. This was a game last year. You're right. Juab took this game last year.
Yeah, and this North Sanpete team put up all sorts of points. Again, this last week only scored, 28, I believe, in the win. But this Juab team, Dusty, it just feels like, how in the world are these guys so good? And I want to go down there and do a game one of these times so I can see it. I'd love to do that. The Wasps off to another great year this year. I think North Sanpete, given that loss last year, I think the guys they have coming back on that offense, the familiarity, Bulls have been fantastic. I'm going to ride with the Hawks. I did last year too. It bit me. Year number 2, North Sanpete.
Juab has been so dominant. I haven't got to have him as much on Deseret News Rewind Live this year. I went Juab last year and it worked well. Why not again? North Sanpete's on. It's a reckoning. Unless it's against a Juab.
They say those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. Well, those who remember it, doomed to repeat it.
Hey, the problem is I didn't go with Beaver like I usually did, and it kind of got me last week. All right, let's get back. up north to the biggest games of the weekend. First of all, this one's on Thursday. Corner Canyon Lone Peak, which was the game of the year last year.
Well, the first one was. The second one wasn't
yeah.
quite so close. And, this Lone Peak team, we talked about that offense. It's become a big play offense again. It looks like the Lone Peak of 3-4 years ago. Luke Romney looking really comfortable on this team. That defense continues to be really strong, but they're going to be tested this week against Corner Canyon. For me, interesting to see if Corner Canyon can establish the run. I think that's going to be really important to have some balance in this game, whether that's dart or the back. I don't think it really matters, but you got to keep that defense true and honest because they love to be aggressive and get after you in the backfield. I'm going to go with Corner Canyon close in this one. I think this is a one, maybe two possession ball game. I think it's tight. You probably don't see Corner Canyon get to 40, 50 points. You didn't last year. I don't think you will this year as well, but I got the Chargers.
Yeah, they got to run the ball. Carlson, the running back, got the call last night. He's going to have to step up and play really, really well. The biggest thing to me is, can the Lone Peak offense keep pace?
Yeah.
Can you keep pace? Because a run will come from Corner Canyon. Can you keep pace? I don't know if they have the horses. And that Corner Canyon defense, it's not star-studded like it was the last couple of years.
It's still stout.
It's still really, really good. Jackson Light does play both ends of the ball.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be one of those things. And so I'm going Corner Canyon. Uncle Dusty can't go against the Carrots. What are you doing? Let's go. Our game of the week. Man, we've been waiting for this to be the game of the week. And both these teams are getting so much better. Week in, week out, we're seeing the growth. Bingham East.
It's the matchup we've been waiting for. And I know we've had it the last couple of years, but we haven't seen Peck and Matic. And not to put too much on them, but we get it.
Yeah.
And super excited for this one. Going to be at East, which is awesome for East to be able to get a home game this year. Knew this was going to be one of the few they would get when the season kicked off, and they're going to be able to host the Bingham Miners. How much progress has Bingham made? We're going to find out this week. Big win this last week over Harriman. Maine's playing really well. They got that ground game going, but the Bingham defense, I think, going to be the real key. Can they key into that option attack from East and running back high school, because there's going to be no shortage of talent lining up behind the ball. I think this is going to be a really fantastic game to watch. You know what, Dusty? We don't forget history. And in this game, history, I've gone with the Leopards, and I'll do it again. I got East.
Fine. Dane's going to be on the call for this one. Go enjoy that one. Bingham. Bingham has been every game until last year in the state tournament. That's what they did to Harriman when they got their chance to get back at him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. East has to take care of the football. Bingham have got to continue to build off of what they did a week ago. It's going to be very, very interesting. But I'm going to go with the Miners coach Dave Peck getting the win over East. Hit us up with your winners. You beat us, we're going to mention it. And you've gotten it every week. So at least one of us didn't give you some love on that. But hit us up on Twitter at D News Rewind, at Dane_Stewart, at Dusty Litster. Go check out the rest of the videos from this week. Top 5 plays, also Deseret News Rewind. Let us know what stories we're missing too. We love to hear from you. It helps us with everything that we do. For Vince Francis and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Litster. Thanks for joining us watching Deseret News Rewind on Deseret.com.